This example relates to the last section of this module, dealing with partnerships. So the coverage is in Chapter 14, and this first one is just a basic example of a partnership sharing income and loss. So you have the information about the starting capital balances for each of these three partners. The income is going to be divided equally after they receive an allocation for 10% interest on their beginning capital allowances, and then two of the partners get a salary allowance before the final income is divided up. Right, so we'll look at three different scenarios. In the first one, everything's good. They'll be able to cover all of the items in those allocations with the amount of income they have. In the second and third ones, we're going to be short, and so we'll see how those work out. Right, part one, right, interest on capital, 10% of those beginning balances, so that's a total of $9,500, and this is how it splits up. We're doing this on an annual basis, so that $2,000 a month for Jones is $24,000, and the $1,500 was for Thompson is $18,000. So those two things get allocated first for a total of $51,400. The income is $99,500, so the difference of $48,000 is split evenly. Right? So as long as you have income and it exceeds the other allocations that you've agreed on, it's pretty straightforward. In the second one, they have income, but the income is not going to be enough to cover all of the other items that they've identified. So the $28,000, using these same numbers here, right? The set capital and salary allocations are $28,000, $2,500, $21,000. This row right here. So they just didn't go back and recalculate for $51,500. $51,500 compared to the income of $38,300 gives you a negative number. So now after that allocation is done, you're effectively allocating a loss. The excess is a negative, and you do that evenly, which brings the balances down to 23, or the allocations down to 23,600 for Jones, minus 1,900 for Silva, and then 16,600 for Thompson, for the total of 38,300. And the third one is a situation where the partnership had a loss. So you go through the same top line, right, and get those items in place. And then what you wind up with is a larger negative, the loss of 15,100 plus this 51,500 that you have identified as being allocated to the partners in specific ways. So 15,100 plus 51,500 gives you 66,600, and that results in a negative 22,200 for each of the partners. The Jones winds up with a plus 5,800, Silva minus 19,700, and Thompson minus 1,200. So we always want to come back to the income here, and you can see that in each of the three different examples. So this one should be pretty straightforward. I will give you another one or two on looking at some other aspects of partnerships where partners are coming and going.